The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. And we begin this morning with breaking news of a large police presence outside in a southeast Bakersfield neighborhood. 17's Chris Burton has been working to gather more information this morning, and he joins us live from the corner of Tyree, Toliver, and Texas Streets with the latest. Chris?
Yeah, Maddie, we're seeing a heavy law enforcement presence here on the corner of Tyree, Toliver in Texas Street. As you can see behind me, the street has been blocked off about a block in either direction, and we're seeing predominantly Kern County Sheriff's Office cars out here. Actually, a few minutes before we went on air, about 4 Kern County Sheriff's cars departed the scene, so it actually was much heavier than what you're seeing right now. The street, we are able to see what appears to be a body. Coroners arrived at about 4:15 with a body bag, but that's all we're able to see right now. We're still waiting on confirmation for a lot of these details, but we will keep you updated as some of this information comes in. Now, we should mention that this activity comes about a month after one man was killed and another wounded in a shooting just a block away on the corner of Tyree, Toliver, and East 3rd Street. Again, we'll have more information for you as it comes in, and we'll continue to keep you updated. Live in Bakersfield, Chris Burton, 17 News.
All right, thank you, Chris. And new this morning, a woman allegedly shot and killed her husband yesterday in South Bakersfield. Police say the shooting happened in a neighborhood on Diggs Lane near Monitor Street and Berkshire Road. Officials say they arrested 38-year-old Cecilia Rios for the killing. The name of the man killed has not been released publicly.
The Bakersfield Police Department has arrested a 14-year-old girl in connection with a social media threat made over the weekend against faculty and students at Thompson Junior High School. BPD says the girl is a student at the school, and officials say the investigation revealed there appeared to be no means or intent to follow through with the threat. However, threats made via social media are prohibited by state law. The investigation into another threat made against Golden Valley High School is still ongoing, but is not considered to be connected to this incident. The BPD says school threats are taken seriously and thoroughly investigated.
5:05 is your time. Now, education news. Trustees for the Kern County High School District met Monday night to discuss a variety of topics, and things got a little out of hand.
And I'm speaking this way because
we're on a new topic.
No, we're not.
No, we're on.
We are not.
5-minute recess. 5-minute recess.
A heated crowd in attendance for public comment Monday night, speaking out against vaccine mandates and the district's actions to spotlight LGBTQ students and staff.
The lie that biological men and boys are biologically equal to women and girls. The lie is about redefining of genders and the misuse of sex outside of the standard and purpose of God's design for male and female.
That was River Lakes Community Church pastor of Outreach and Care, Angelo Frazier, taking to the podium, decrying the district's support of people who claim LGBTQ status. The attendees of the meeting became so disruptive that the board meeting went into recess for about 10 minutes before reconvening.
Now to an annual event that pairs police officers with the public. The Bakersfield Police Department hosted its annual National Night Out along with the California Highway Patrol. The event was held at Patriots Park in Southwest Bakersfield. National Night Out gives law enforcement officers a chance to meet people in the cities they serve in a relaxed atmosphere where people of all ages can interact with those who protect and serve them.
We haven't been able to see anything like this for the past year and a half, and so I think the fact that we see people coming is because we know we need it as a community, and so really for us to be healthy, strong, together, we need to be able to come together. So this is great to have that non-crisis moment to be able to engage with our community.
And a similar event was held in Arvin outside the Arvin Police Department, and you could say the force was very strong out there. Folks were treated to food, they got to play games and visit with animals, and of course, the officers from the Arvin Police Department.
And today, the 12th annual Tips for Chips fundraiser event kicks off. The event benefits widows and orphans of fallen CHP officers and was instituted in memory of CHP officer Mark Ely, who died of a brain aneurysm. This year's event will be a drive-through and drive-in, taking place from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Outback Steakhouse on Stockdale Highway. The $25 lunch includes steak, chicken, Caesar salad, mashed potatoes, bread, and cheesecake. To purchase tickets, you can call Marty Casey at 916-812-9545 or Shannon Ely at 661-428-0335.
Today, the Bakersfield City Council will take up a proposal for the world's longest painting of a river canal. The 350-foot painting would include famous Bakersfield landmarks and a timeline of the Bakersfield Police Department. The cost? A $30,000 agreement with the artist John S. Barge III, who originally approached the council in an effort to create 2 custom original world record artworks for the city of Bakersfield. It is not yet known exactly where in the city the murals will be located.
The City Council will also take up an expansion of the Kaiser Permanente Sports Village. The $12.4 million expansion would include 5 football fields, seating, a concession building, restrooms, picnic areas with shade, sales, parking lot lighting, and more. The sports complex, which is located north of Taft Highway between Gosford Road and Ash Road, is becoming the home base for Golden Empire youth football and over 2,000 local athletes. Officials say the city was awarded a $3 million grant from the National Park Service in 2019, which will help in completing future projects. All right, we're back here at 519. Facebook aggressively defending itself and questioning the credibility of a former employee after she leveled serious allegations against the social media giant. Frances Haugen told the Senate subcommittee Facebook puts profits over user safety. Now she's calling for lawmakers to regulate the tech company. NBC's Chris Pallone has the story.
Maddie, good morning. There was a lot of finger pointing at Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg as the whistleblower testified. Now Zuckerberg is responding.
Because Facebook is
serious charges against Facebook from a former employee.
The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people.
Whistleblower Frances Haugen telling a Senate subcommittee the social network allows and sometimes promotes hateful and harmful content to keep users coming back.
We spend more time on their platform, they make more money.
Haugen gave Congress a trove of internal Facebook research, some she claims showing the company knows its Instagram app can contribute to eating disorders in teen girls. She urged lawmakers to take action.
These problems are solvable. A safer, free speech respecting, more enjoyable social media is possible.
Facebook says its data is being taken out of context.
What you have here today is a former employee who didn't work on these issues and was just at the company a couple of years, mischaracterizing some documents that she stole.
I don't know. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg also responded, not under oath, but in a letter to employees later posted on Facebook, writing many of the claims don't make any sense and insisting it's very important to me that everything we build is safe and good for kids. The one thing the whistleblower and Facebook agree on, regulation. Both are calling on members of Congress to strengthen the nation's internet laws. In Washington, Chris Pallone, 17 News.
Turning now to new fallout inside the National Women's Soccer League. 2 players have publicly accused prominent coach Paul Riley of sexual coercion amid what many say was the league's institutional failure to protect its players. In less than a week, harrowing accounts of alleged abuse from coach Paul Riley, published in The Athletic, have upended the world of women's soccer. The report included unnerving details from a dozen former players who spoke about Riley's alleged possessiveness, verbal abuse, and sexual coercion.
The first time that she felt coerced, that's the word that she uses, that they went into a room together and something happened in that room, and then it happened again 2 more times.
Riley has denied the allegations and has yet to provide NBC News with a comment. The NWSL is conducting multiple investigations to, quote, undertake a significant systemic and cultural transformation and regain the trust of players and fans. We continue to follow breaking news of a large police presence in southeast Bakersfield. 17's Chris Burton has been working this morning to gather information, and he joins us live with new information about what's going on out there. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. We saw a large KCSO, Kern County Sheriff's Office presence here on Texas Street near Tyree Toliver Road. It's mostly cleared out by now, as you can see behind me. There are a few squad cars still here, but it's mostly kind of come out, and the police lines have come down here. Now, I just spoke to a neighbor who lives in a house on this corner here. His name's Michael, and he said he woke up at about midnight to the sound of a police helicopter. He came outside to see a fleet of cars and heard an officer announce, don't move," over a loudspeaker. That's when he heard the gunshots, 8 to 10 of them coming, he says, from multiple guns. He fell to the ground and ran inside to safety. Now, when we got here, we were able to see what appeared to be a body. Coroners arrived around 4:15 with a body bag, and that's all we were able to see and confirm at this point. We're waiting on confirmations for some of these details from KCSO, but we will be right here, and we will continue to keep you updated as we learn more information. Live in Bakersfield, Chris Burton, 17 News.
All right, thank you, Chris. And now to our continuing coverage of last weekend's oil spill in Orange County, with new details this morning on the origin of the disaster. Federal investigators yesterday said a ship's anchor may have hooked, dragged, and torn a massive underwater pipeline that led to the spill. Investigators also revealed that the owner of the pipeline, Amplify Energy, waited more than 3 hours to shut down operations, even after a low pressure alarm indicated a possible spill. The ruptured pipeline spewed 126,000 gallons of crude oil into the ocean off Huntington Beach. Governor Gavin Newsom visited the coast yesterday to survey the damage.
We're going to have to do more. We're doing that on fracking now. We've got to do that in more oversight. We've got to do that on more permits for abandonment, less permits for reworking and for new drilling. We recognize our obligations in that space. Health and safety setbacks, all of those things, I assure you, are on the table and very much part of the conversation we're having with renewed sense of urgency because of this latest spill.
Governor Newsom declared a state of emergency Monday night.
The funeral bell of the Washington National Cathedral is ringing to remember the 700,000 Americans killed by coronavirus. The bell started ringing yesterday at 5 p.m. on the East Coast and kept ringing 700 times. Meanwhile, on the lawn of the National Mall, white flags still stand, one for every life taken by the virus. The number of new cases is once again falling after a substantial rise over the summer. But medical experts say it is still crucial for as many Americans to be vaccinated.
And now we're able to put a number on just how effective these vaccines have been, especially among seniors. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says COVID-19 vaccines have saved nearly 40,000 lives within our senior population. In addition, DHS says vaccines have prevented about 100,000 hospitalizations among those who've been infected with COVID and more than 250,000 cases. These numbers are from a new study that monitored case rates, hospitalization status, and deaths among Medicare beneficiaries between January and May.
Now that the fair has ended, Kern Public Health will once again use the fairgrounds as a vaccine clinic next week. The walk-up clinic will be open Tuesday through Friday from 10:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Pfizer vaccines will be available for everyone 12 and older. You're encouraged to make an appointment at myturn.ca.gov. But you can also visit Kern Public Health's website for an interactive map showing all vaccination locations throughout Kern County.
The third surge of coronavirus is slowing, but we're just now getting a better understanding of how many lives were lost in the past 2 months. Public Health announced 7 new deaths yesterday. Most of the new deaths were from early to mid-September. 1,560 people have died in Kern County from the virus since the beginning of the pandemic. At least 191 people have died since vaccinations became available to everyone 12 and older. We also learned of 276 additional infections, even as the daily number of new cases continues to drop. 247 people with acute symptoms of COVID-19 are currently hospitalized in Kern, and 76 patients are fighting for their lives in area intensive care units.
Most people in Kern County will soon get a check in the mail, as promised by Governor Gavin Newsom, and some will get a payment as early as today. It's all part of the Golden State stimulus package. Most people will receive between $600 and $1,100. The state has already deposited more than 2.5 million payments into the bank accounts of eligible Californians. The Golden State stimulus check will be sent to eligible residents in batches based on the last 3 digits of the recipient's zip code. If you live in Arvin, Bodfish, Buttonwillow, Delano, or Edison, you're set to get your checks this round. Most people living in Bakersfield will not get their money until mid-November, near Thanksgiving. For the zip code mailing list, you can just visit our website, kget.com.
17 Court Watch now, disturbing new details in the case of a man accused of killing his wife and a Good Samaritan who tried to help her. According to court records, Asia Blair was seeking a divorce from Bryson Blair. On the morning of August 6th, a teenager said Bryson Blair broke a window at the Grassotti townhomes where he lived with Asia Blair. The teen woke up to Asia screaming and went outside, where she saw Bryson Blair shooting at Asia Blair. 48-year-old Eugene DeBarro Jr., the man who'd confronted Bryson Blair a day earlier, was also on the ground with a gunshot wound. Both were killed. Bryson Blair was later arrested after a short police chase in Los Angeles. To read more from the newly released documents, go to our website, kget.com.
A woman killed by a hit-and-run driver Saturday evening has now been identified. 56-year-old Donna Jo Chekin was walking outside the crosswalk on South Union Avenue near Pacheco Road just before 11 o'clock when she was hit and killed by a black sedan. The California Highway Patrol says the driver of the black sedan immediately drove away from the scene and did not return. If you have any information regarding the accident, you're asked to call CHP at 396-6600.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.